welcome to the video. My name is Christina, also known as Creative Crossing Online, and I'm going to be doing some Halloween sketches in my sketchbook today. I'm probably posting this on Halloween, so it's a little kind of late, but I figured I already recorded it, might as well post it. Hope everyone's having a great day. Feel free to sketch with me, hang out. I'm going to be talking about my process, about like coming up with characters and pretty much like where I go when I'm drawing and where I take the design and why I make those choices. So if you're interested in character design, hang out. And yeah, let's get started. So for this sketchbook page, I had no idea what I wanted to draw. That's typically how it works. I usually go on Pinterest and I will look up in a couple keywords what I'm looking for, right? So I wanted like a vintage Halloween look. And I came across these really cute illustrations of like scarecrows. And I'm like, that'd be such a cute costume. I actually was a scarecrow for Halloween one year. And then from there, I started making this little guy and I put a mask on him. And I'm like, what if he's actually a scarecrow who came to life like Pinocchio, all right? And he gets to enjoy one night where he can kind of fit in with everybody and go trick-or-treating. So that's where I start. Like, I already kind of came up with a story based on just looking at some inspiration and starting to draw the character, because that's for me my process. Unless I'm getting handed like, here's the description of the story and what the character is going to be like, sometimes I start with the character and the story comes from there, you know. So with this guy, I like the idea of them having very cute little bodies, like unrealistic, like tiny little hands, like almost Tim Burton-esque, where like all his characters have like tiny feet and like tiny hands and stuff. So that's where I started to go with this one. When I graduated college, I really wanted to be a character designer along with everybody else. It is a very like popular like job that everybody kind of wants to do in animation, because like it's really fun. I really enjoy making characters. It's not easy, and because everybody wants to do it, you have to have work that stands out in a sea of people who are also competing for that kind of work. But sometimes it's just, you know, the project needs a certain style or experience level, and I just had not had the luck in my experience in my years post-college, which is okay, because I've learned skills from school and post-school that have really helped me as just an artist, and I want to now go down a path of illustration. So those like skills and tools those skills and tools also translate to that field. So I'm like excited to kind of like, I feel free from this like pressure I've been putting on myself to like, you have to work in animation, you have to get a job, otherwise you're a failure. It's like, I'm being so hard on myself for what, you know? I'm not giving up. If the opportunity ever comes around, I will say yes, 100%, but it's not happening right now. So I need to make other things happen. The camera angle for the next drawing that I'm doing right now is not in the best spot. I'm working on it, like as far as like new future videos, like figuring out where to put it, but you can pretty much see what I'm doing. So the first drawing, he has a mask on. In this story, he finds it on the ground, like somebody like was roughhoused and they lost their costume, but his real face underneath, he's a little scarecrow guy. He's so cute. That's why if you saw, I erased his ear. Like, he doesn't have ears. I'd imagine he's like a Pinocchio type of character. Like he comes to life on Halloween. But like during the rest of the year, he's just hanging around like a little doll, like a little scarecrow guy hung up. And I really just like this idea of like, he's all like stuffed with hay, almost like I always think of like the scarecrow from like the Wizard of Oz, like he's stuffing himself with all the hay. So he's all like lumpy looking. And this little guy, I think I end up giving him this friend because I feel like he would. He's so gentle, he's so cute, he's like so innocent. Like he'd have a friend who's a crow who he's supposed to be scaring, but they're chill. So what I remember from school and what I've been trying to practice as far as character design goes is showing interactions between two characters, because that really is a big part of storytelling. Not even just in animation, just like if you have two characters, how are they going to interact with each other throughout the story? Like a big thing we were always told to show in our portfolios, if you wanted to be a character designer, was show the characters and then show them in a lineup also, but also show them hanging out and how are they like talking or fighting or playing, because that really shows the dynamics of the characters and you kind of can get a feel for their personality without even reading a script. Sorry, I keep having to pause to cough and it's throwing me off. The weather today is Halloween. I'm recording this and also posting it, but the weather was actually hot, so it was disgusting. It's not cold, crisp Halloween. It is hot, and I have bad allergies and asthma, so it is affecting me deeply. So, okay, that was a really bad transition with the camera. Honestly, I'm learning how to edit these kind of things. I want to make them like quick, and I guess, okay, I remember what happened. So with the camera, I started recording, it wasn't recording. So this little guy just popped up in my story, in my head, but you know, we're talking about it. He's gonna find a group of kids, and these group of kids, they're a little trio. I think in my head, the boy and the girl, the younger girl, are brother and sister, and then there's an older cousin. Growing up, I always went trick-or-treating with my cousins. It was a great time. I have such fond memories of it. And I just feel like just taking from personal experiences also helps give some type of like realistic feel to these characters, whether you're just sketching or like doing it for work, right? If you can take from real life, it makes it feel that much more like real. And it sounds like stupid, but like if you think about it, like it's real. Like you go trick-or-treating with your family and your friends. Like, you know, my family, they lived in Staten Island, so the houses, the neighborhoods are very close together, which was awesome when you're going trick-or-treating and you want to get the most amount of candy, because you'd go to like just a couple houses down the block and you have a bag full, right? And you know, I was little, but I just have very happy memories of that. And as you can see, like I started to draw this character in a pose, and I'm like, that's boring. Like his hands are down. Like, no, how do I show that he's like the funny character and like the funny guy in the group, the boy cousin, the big brother, who's like kind of, you know, annoying but like silly. What would be like something like, you know, a rule follower, be like, you can't eat your candy till you get home, right? What would someone who's like, I don't care about the rules, I'm hungry, I want my candy now, like he'd eat it throughout the night on the way to the other houses. So that's where I changed his like pose to show like, hey, he's one of those chunky kids, you know, because I was a chunky kid too who wanted to eat my candy all night too. So I picked out a costume for him, a little Dracula guy, draw his little fangs. And again, I missed the beginning part of it, but I was going to be a witch. That is going to be his little sister, who's like the nervous rule follower, like, oh guys, it's getting dark, we should get home. That kind of, you know, that kind of kid who's like nervous to be out and alone on Halloween, but like doesn't want to be labeled the baby, doesn't want to be like, oh well, I guess, you know, like I'll miss out. No, like she wants to hang out with the older kids, but she's also really nervous because they're not doing what they're supposed to do. So drawing, like, he looks really confident, right? The way he's standing straight, his feet are out, he's holding his candy, he's very comfortable with what his action is. Maybe she's looking at his candy like, how come I don't have that much? Or, hey, I think you took mine, right? Like, her body language needs to be a little more, like, skittish or, like, cautious or nervous. So when I'm just sketching this character on paper, she's just gonna be, like, I'm kind of going into the detail before I should, but again, this isn't really for like educational purposes, because if it were, I would be showing you like the correct way to like draw the body, draw the clothes, block out the silhouette, right? Like all those like, you know, correct terms and stuff. But I'm just sketching, guys. So it is, the rules are, they're there, but they're relaxed because it's for me and for you guys to like just watch. But I'm just explaining like where my brain is and what I want her to look like. So her, you know, obviously I drew her way too close to him. Like if this were like a lineup, she'd need to be a little further away, have her own space. But I wanted to draw her more like knees bent, kind of a curve to her character. Sorry, my nose is getting stuffier as I'm recording this. Oh my gosh. And, you know, we're just fleshing her out with the detail, but again, this is a sketch, and I wasn't planning on ever making this a thing, but I loved how cute the characters came out. I love the story. Like, I think it's like such a sweet Halloween. Like, I could see it as a children's book, and like, you know, tradition to read this book on Halloween, where, you know, the Scarecrow's like, it's like a Pinocchio story. A Scarecrow comes to life, meets a group of kids, has a great time, and by the end of the night, he's back in the cornfield, back to being a Scarecrow. Till next year. Again, I'm so sorry if my voice sounds not as nice as it did in the other video, but my fall allergies have caught up to me. Let me know in the comments if you guys are like really into trick-or-treating, really into dressing up. As a kid, I loved it. As an adult, I still love it. Obviously, I'm not trick-or-treating. It's more like going to bars, being all dressed up in your costume, but I really do enjoy the holiday. I'm a little outnumbered though. Nobody in my family likes it as much as me. I moved on to the next character, as you can see. And again, sticking to that inspiration of these vintage characters and costumes, I should say. I've made her a cat. She's here. I'm imagining that this character is the older cousin. She's responsible. The parents are cool with her being in charge and watching over the younger cousins. And she gets to pick the neighborhoods. She has to keep everybody together. She is in charge. And I wanted her body language to kind of show that she's mature, she's older, you know, what I say goes. So I think based on just their sketches, I mean, I don't even want to call them doodles because they almost are like a doodle. But if I wanted to, I could flesh them out more, make, you know, clean them up and everything, and they'd really be nice, rough sketches. But I think based on just their body language alone, you can kind of get a feel for their dynamics, even as a group. They're somewhat interacting, but, you know, yeah, I have her hand all flared out. She's like, this is my basket. Like, and she's nice, but maybe to the cousins are like, ugh, she's in charge, you know? So, yeah, I'm trying to think of stuff to talk about. I didn't realize how much of the videos, like, I probably could have sped this up, but I think it's cool to just see in real time my drawing and how I'm thinking of stuff. Like, I think the tail maybe is too close to her leg. It looks like they're just coming out of her leg. Maybe it should be on the other side, but that's just, you know, looking back at it now. That's an easy fix. And I've really just accepted that I add sparkles to everything. So I like to do that in my sketches, just add little sparkles and outline. And that's like just artist to artist, if you're watching, like, just do what feels right. You know, like, especially in your sketchbook, there are no, like, there's no rules. Like, you can make it, you can break it, you can do whatever you want in your sketchbook. It's yours. Like, whether or not you choose to make it the aesthetic you see online and show it off, that's fine. But deep down, you should always have some type of book or paper that you can just draw whatever you're thinking about or feeling and not worry about it looking perfect. Like, technically, in my opinion, this isn't perfect, but maybe to some this is like, wow, that's a nice page. And I think it was nice enough. Oh, and a little thing too, you can see now, he has a little thank you bag, like a grocery store, like, plastic bag, because Again, he's a scarecrow, doesn't have a trick-or-treating bag or like a pillowcase whatever kids use nowadays. He had to just find like a little bag. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, it's blurry. It's blurry. Fix it. There we go. Okay. So I wanted to take a break from drawing characters, and like I was just saying, there are no rules. I'm not trying to make any flow to the pages. In my brain, they're two separate drawings, but they exist together when you open the book. So I'd imagine if this was an illustrated kids book, that the pages or like the back of the book would have like what the candy looks like. I don't know. I'm just thinking about all the illustrated books and kids books that I read growing up. Like, I always just loved the little world building details. And like, yeah, you can't put a Hershey's chocolate, label, but like whatever their world, whatever chocolate brand is ruling their world, what would it look like? So that's what this page is. And I'm very heavy with my hand when I draw. I make my lines pretty dark. It takes me a couple, I don't want to say hours, but not minutes, but if I'm doing a nice long drawing sesh by myself in my room, headphones on, nothing else to do that day, I could do that for hours. And it's by hour number 2 where I'm actually loosening up my lines a bit. This might have been the first one I was doing today, or whatever day this was. And it was just, I'm looking at Pinterest. Maybe music isn't necessarily on. I'm not in the zone because I have other stuff I have to do. But I'm just drawing shapes, and my lines are a little heavier than I would really like them to be. So yeah, that's just me critiquing myself after I just said there are no rules. Feel freedom. But I'm trying to be professional. I'm trying to share my experience and all the things that were said and taught to me, and give it to people who maybe didn't have professors in their ear yelling at them or not yelling, but you know what I mean, critiquing them for how heavy and dark their lines are, when it should just be rough sketches and loose lines and not chicken scratch, but somewhere in between that. But the rules were meant to be broken. This is how, when I'm just starting out a sketch, how I draw. If you're the same way, let me know. I'm also, so if you follow me on Instagram, I've been working on, and I'm so slow, did not get it out before Halloween ended, but so basically I just been recording myself coloring those candies in that style, using like 3 or 4 color palette like colors. Like, it's been like really cool. I'm just really slow. I get bored drawing objects that aren't people. Oh my god, I'm sorry, it's blurry. So the next thing I'm drawing right now is just what I imagine is like the last page of the book. The story's finished, we're wrapping it up. Our friend, he had a great night. He found himself back at his cornfield. He may or may not be able to eat the candy, right? Maybe the moon is out, but it's dawn. Like the sky is becoming pinker because the sun's coming up. And he has had a great night. And in this little Pinocchio story, once the sun comes up, he will be a scarecrow once again. But he got to have a fun Halloween, and his little crow friends with him. He was by his side all night, making sure he was safe. And I really like, by the way, and like I don't really always say this about my art, but trying to be positive, good self-talk, right? I really love how the crow looks, like the little guy. Like, it's not my typical bird that I like, the style I draw. Like, he almost looks like a penguin, like, you know what I mean, like the way it's just like his beak is very tiny, but I just like how like flowy he looks. But yeah, maybe our scarecrow friend can't eat the candy because he's a scarecrow and can't talk and all that stuff, but maybe if he is Pinocchio, maybe he could talk. I don't know. That's all stuff to figure out in a book, right? but he's gonna share his candy with the bird. Can he eat chocolate? Can birds? I feel like chocolate can kill a lot of people. Like, not a lot of people. Wait, I feel like chocolate's poison to a lot of different animals. Like, is that a dumb thing? Like, should I know that bird? Like, I don't feed birds, but can birds eat chocolate? Let me know. I should Google that. Oh my god. Okay, anyway. Where am I? So yeah, he's discarded the mask. It's him. He's here. And yeah. This would be like the last page in the book. So we're coming to the end. And if you've been sticking around for this whole time, I appreciate you. I hope you've been drawing or sketching or watching. It's always appreciated. I love that you guys are here. I'm right now a nobody. I'm expecting these videos, these first ones, to get maybe 30 views. I'm okay with that. Like, right now, I'm a nobody in this giant ocean of artists, YouTubers. You know, that's the hard part about being an artist nowadays, is you have to be an artist and a content creator and a social media manager and this and that and this and that. But we're making it work. Yeah, so wait, I'm showing now the whole sketchbook. I don't usually color my sketches, but I'm thinking about taking this whole sketch page spread to the next level and turning it into an actual illustration in Photoshop. I'm waving goodbye. Oh my god, I'm saying goodbye. All right, guys, thank you so much. I will see you in the next one. I'm also supposed to remind you to subscribe, like, comment, follow, whatever you got to do. Check me out on Instagram at Creative Crossy. Check out my Etsy shop, see what I got for sale. And thank you guys so much again for watching. Have a happy Halloween, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.